was sometime during World War II. There's an island out in the Pacific called Iwo Jima, and the Americans needed to take it from the Japanese so they could use it as an air base. So the Marines went ashore, but instead of being met with enemy fire at first, they were met with no resistance. The Japanese commander had a plan to let the Marines get on the island, and then he would slaughter them all. Unfortunately for him, though, once they got there, they stayed. He was not able to drive them off or kill them all, and because they got a foothold, the rest of the battle was lost to him, and eventually he had to resign to tactics of each of his men taking 10 Marines with them when they died. So, all right, so now that's my story, and then I'm going to read some verses. This is John 19, verses 28 through 30. It says, "After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar, and put it upon hyssop, and put it to his mouth. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost." So a few weeks earlier, me and my dad were kind of studying these verses, and we looked up the original Greek translation of "it is finished," and it's just one word, and that word means completion. So not just being done with something, but when something is completed. That's what that word means. And so a lot of people say that in that moment, Jesus completed the war with sin. He defeated sin in that moment and completed our salvation. And that never used to make sense to me as a child, because I thought, well, if Jesus defeated sin, how come I still deal with sin? And that was kind of confusing to me. But just the other day, thinking about battles and different things throughout history, I realized, just like with the Marines on Iwo Jima, though whenever they got ashore, that was the moment that the battle was won. Even though the enemy was still killing them the whole time they were on the island, once they got that foothold, the battle was won, even though there was still battle to be fought. And I think that's what Jesus did for us. Even though Satan is still after us and there's still sin in the world, when Jesus did that move, that was the move that sealed the deal. The sin has no chance after this. And so Satan can try to cause as much harm as he can, just like the commander on Iwo Jima did. But when Jesus died on the cross, that was it. The battle was won through that. And so that was a pretty short message, but I just like to share that with all of you, because those were just some thoughts I had, and but I thought y'all might be able to get something out of it. So.